Hello everyone, we have some great news today. Kate Middleton made a statement after beating cancer. Here's what Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton really quarreled about. One humiliating joke from Prince William changed Kate Middleton's style forever. Here's how it happened. The British royal family, the latest news, Kate's role in Andrew's exile. All this lies ahead. But for now, let's start with Kate Middleton, who made a statement after defeating cancer. After Kate Middleton successfully defeated cancer, her priorities changed dramatically. According to Radar Online, after months of anxiety and suspense, there was silence. The very silence in which you can hear how the house breathes, how the air outside the window sways, how life comes alive, returning to normal. For Kate Middleton, it wasn't just a recovery, it was a rebirth. Every day she lived during the treatment taught her to look at the world differently, slower, more attentive, warmer. When time stops rushing and everything around seems to stop, something that was previously lost in a hurry comes to light. The light in the children's eyes, the silence outside the city, the feeling that nothing more is needed. Kate didn't just come back to life, she changed its very direction. Everything that seemed important before has receded into the background. The social gatherings, the official visits, the endless camera flashes, it all looked alien now. After this ordeal, she wanted something completely different. A breath of nature, real solitude, the opportunity to be herself, without a role, without a title, without constant supervision. And William understood her without words. This turning point has become common. Together, they decided that it was time to turn life around in a different direction. Do not fight the current, but choose your own shore, where children will grow up freely, where the house is filled with laughter and not with the echo of protocol steps. This is how a new stage begins, not with loud statements, but with silence. Silence, which after a storm sounds like the most precious word. Living under scrutiny is a constant strain, an invisible burden that gets heavier every day. For Kate and William, it was not just a spotlight, but an eternal observation. Every little thing was put on display. Every move was discussed. Becoming the object of constant attention means losing some of your freedom, the stiffness of which eventually begins to weigh down, exhaust, and deprive you of the joy of the simplest moments. When Kate went through such a serious ordeal, she clearly understood that personal space is not a luxury, but a necessity. Together with her husband, they decided not to play by the long-established rules dictated by royal life and gossip columns. They chose secrecy as a way to protect themselves and their children, to maintain balance and peace of mind. It wasn't an escape from responsibilities, but rather a new perspective on a role, a new philosophy of life where family and health come to the fore. To abandon the usual splendor of balls and royal receptions in favor of a quiet life is a bold step, especially for the future king. But for Kate, this is a real victory. The right to live in a way that makes every moment meaningful, unencumbered by unnecessary noise and other people's expectations. This is a new chapter where the main characters are not titles, but people, family, nature, and the world around them. In this decision, there is strength and freedom, which they chose for themselves, without regard to social standards. Far from the hustle and bustle of the city, among the vast expanses of the Great Windsor Park, the new family nest of the Duchess and the Prince is spread out. This is not just a house, it is an island of peace and solitude, where every tree and every bush seem to breathe with its inhabitants. There are no cameras, no intrusive stares, just the natural rhythm of nature and harmony.
This estate will become their eternal home, a sanctuary of family warmth and freedom. Even when William ascends to the throne, they have no intention of returning to life at Buckingham Palace, preferring an eco-friendly and autonomous environment where they can grow their own food and be energized by the sun. Such a place provides an opportunity to escape from the hustle and bustle of the city and return to the roots of life. Security is not just a word here, but a priority. The surrounding cottages are already being transformed into houses for protection so that no one and nothing can disturb their tranquility. Everything is thought out to the smallest detail, from privacy to comfort, so that no external threats disturb the family hearth. While we are learning interesting details about the changes in the royal family, I remind you that there is great news ahead. Such a decision is not just a move. This is a manifesto of a new way of life, in which every moment spent outdoors is appreciated, and where children grow up in harmony with nature, learn freedom and true happiness away from the noise of the big world. For Kate Middleton, family is not only about close people, but also a way of life filled with care and harmony. She strives for simplicity, which carries depth. Everything in this new house is designed to get as close to nature as possible. Solar panels, eco-friendly energy sources, fresh vegetables and fruits from your own garden. Kate wants every element of their lives to be not just convenience, but an informed choice in favor of health and sustainability. For the children of the Duchess and the Prince of Wales, this is an opportunity to grow up without the artificial bustle of the city. Real childhood is horseback riding in green meadows, climbing trees, playing in the fresh air. This lifestyle gives them freedom and inspiration, teaches them to appreciate nature and their strengths. For Kate, this is happiness, when children are not limited by walls, but can freely explore the world around them and develop naturally. This new way of life is a kind of counterbalance to the past, when everything seemed clearly outlined and limited. There is no place for stress and urban fuss, only a space filled with love, health, and inner peace. This path is built not to hide, but to find yourself and your family anew in the simplest and most important things. This new way of life is not just a change of residence, but a profound transformation of the entire family structure. The transition to seclusion, to living in harmony with nature and taking care of their health, creates a unique atmosphere around Kate and William in which they can rediscover each other, strengthen their relationship, and build a foundation for the future. Leaving the noise of big cities and the bright lights of palaces behind, they seem to be choosing a balance between tradition and modernity, public role and private life. This is how a new philosophy of the royal family is born, which can become an example for many, a life filled with meaning, health, and happiness, where the main thing is family and simple joys. The question remains, will such a change be able to completely change the foundations of the monarchy and give its members the long-awaited peace and harmony? But one thing is already clear. This story is about courage, love, and the power of choice that can change everything. And now we come to the main news for today. But the next news is also no less wonderful, so watch to the end. That's what Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton really quarreled about. The real reason for the conflict between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton has been revealed. For a long time, the British media speculated about what exactly caused the cold relationship between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. There were many versions, from differences of opinion on royal duties to competition for public attention.
However, now a detail has surfaced that seems insignificant, but perfectly describes the entire contrast between the two duchesses. And, oddly enough, it's the tights that are to blame. From the moment when Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle first walked into the sights of cameras side by side, the audience seemed to be divided into two camps. One is the epitome of British restraint, impeccable taste, and royal calm. The other is bright, free, emotional, and always going against the rules. Two women, two philosophies of life, and one palace that couldn't stand both. The death of Elizabeth II has once again brought together the Magnificent Four: William, Kate, Harry, and Meghan. The cameras froze, smiles were strained, steps were measured, glances were cold. The world froze in anticipation. Which one of them will win this invisible war for the love of the crowd? Kate Middleton, from the girl of the people to the ideal princess. Catherine Middleton was not born into luxury, but into an ordinary English family. The parents, hardworking and purposeful, opened a family business selling goods for children's parties. Kate grew up in an atmosphere of independence and discipline, two qualities that later helped her become the epitome of royal restraint. She met William at the University of St. Andrews, where they developed a chemistry that could rewrite British history. Their affair lasted 10 years, with interruptions, scandals, and reconciliations. But the result exceeded expectations: the wedding of the century, millions of viewers at the screens, the ring of Princess Diana on her finger, and a new star in the sky of the monarchy. From the very first days, Kate didn't play a role, she lived in it. Impeccable manners, modesty, the ability to speak exactly as much as necessary. The British loved her for her normality, the very ability to remain herself even in the crown. She brings up 3 children, does her own makeup, wears cheap boots, is able to go out in public in a dress for 40 pounds, and at the same time be a style icon. Her wardrobe is a mix of mass market and haute couture, and her approval rating is one of the highest in the world. Kate is the epitome of the ideal princess of the 21st century, smart, practical, and devoted. It is for this that the British forgive her everything, even the rare blunders. Meghan Markle, the woman who defied the palace. Meghan was born in the Los Angeles sunshine, in a world where dreams come true on screen. Her parents are a director and yoga teacher, and she knew how to hold herself in front of the camera from a young age. Educated, confident, ambitious, Meghan is not used to being in the shadows. Before meeting Harry, she had already managed to build a career in Hollywood, play in force majeure, and gather millions of fans. She knew the taste of fame and the price of independence. When Prince entered her life, the script became too Hollywood to be true. But the 2018 wedding, in a Givenchy dress, under a tiara from the treasury of Elizabeth II, really became a symbol of the new age. A girl from the people entered the monarchy, bringing with her not only love but also revolution. However, then the main thing began: disappointment. Meghan faced the press, protocol, and family distrust. She was called moody, accused of scandals with staff, manipulating Harry, and even destroying the bonds between the brothers. She decided to speak, loudly and painfully. Interviews with Oprah, confessions about racism, suicide attempts, and how the crown seemed to strangle her. The audience split. Some sympathized, some hated. Meghan left, but she didn't disappear. She turned her story into a brand, millions of dollars from Netflix, books, podcasts, lectures. From a duchess to a businesswoman, from a victim to a media mogul. The royal contrast. Kate is quiet, stable, like silk under the hand of an old aristocrat. Meghan is sharp, sparkling, like a flash of paparazzi.
One represents tradition, the other freedom. But both of them are women whom the world cannot stop comparing. Kate has become an ideal, but sometimes her perfection seems to have been learned to the last gesture. Meghan is the exposed nervous system of the monarchy, which has shown that pain is hidden behind smiles. And, as strange as it may sound, they need each other. Without Kate, there would be no contrast for Meghan. And without Meghan, Kate would not look so perfect. Wardrobe under protocol pressure. According to the publication Geo.tv, Meghan herself recently admitted that it was extremely difficult for her to comply with the strict rules of royal etiquette, especially in matters of appearance. Among the mandatory requirements was the wearing of nude-colored nylon tights, a classic without which Kate Middleton does not appear at official events. Meghan considered this requirement outdated and artificial. "I had to wear flesh-colored tights all the time. To be honest, it wasn't my style. I haven't worn tights since the 80s movies. It seemed a bit old-fashioned and unnatural to me," she confessed. When style becomes a weapon. For Kate Middleton, protocol is not just a duty, but part of her image. Her appearance is always thoughtful, restrained, and fits perfectly into the royal traditions, while Meghan prefers modernity, individuality, and a little more freedom. This collision of two worlds, conservative and progressive, royal and Hollywood, became the spark from which the fire of rumors and tension in the relationship between the two duchesses grew.
Insiders claim that this particular episode, the dispute over tights, became a symbol of their conflict. Kate defended traditions, Meghan personal comfort and self-expression. Fashion as a mirror of the royal drama. This seemingly insignificant episode shows how much importance details have in the British court. To break a rule is to question not just the dress code, but the system itself, in which every detail is subordinated to symbolism and history. And if Kate chose the path of impeccable discipline, then Meghan relied on individuality. The result was the Cold War, where fashion became a weapon and tights caused one of the most notorious scandals in the royal family of the 21st century. Sometimes the biggest conflicts are born out of small things. For some, tights are just an accessory, while for others they are a symbol of order, tradition, and power. But it is precisely in such details that the real drama of the British court manifests itself, the struggle between the old and the new world. A question for you. If you could choose who to support in this royal battle, who would you be for? For the perfect Kate who keeps tradition and order? Or for the rebellious Meghan who defied the system for herself? One humiliating joke from Prince William changed Kate Middleton's style forever. Here's how it happened. Today, Kate Middleton is rightfully considered an icon of British style. Her impeccable outfits are analyzed by fashion experts, and every appearance is discussed by thousands of fans. But as it turned out, it wasn't the stylist who prompted Kate to become the standard of elegance, but a cruel joke by her own husband. In his book, Yes Ma'am, The Secret Life of Royal Servants, royal biographer Tom Quinn says that Prince William used to dislike his wife's style. At the beginning of their relationship, he even made an extremely offensive statement. He said she looked like she'd run through a thrift store covered in superglue to get dressed, Quinn recalls. According to the author, this phrase was heard in front of witnesses and caused laughter from others, including Kate herself. However, as the biographer notes, it was from that day that something changed in her. The Princess of Wales, in fact, took the situation into her own hands and turned criticism into motivation.
She began collaborating with the best British designers, abandoned overly casual looks, and gradually developed a recognizable style, refined, minimalistic, flawlessly balanced. Now, years later, Kate has become a real reference point for women around the world, and her wardrobe is being carefully analyzed along with the image of the late Princess Diana. But, as Quinn notes, it's not worth sympathizing with the Duchess. Kate knows how to respond in kind and has repeatedly wittily poked fun at William, reminding him who is now a real icon in their couple. A question for you. Do you think this joke could really be a turning point in Kate's life, or would her style have evolved over the years anyway? Britain's royal family. Latest news. Kate's role in Andrew's exile. Kate Middleton, Princess of Wales, has put pressure on Prince Andrew to be stripped of his titles and honors. What is the latest news about the royal family of Great Britain today? What is known about Middleton's influence on Andrew's case? Kate Middleton, Princess of Wales, played a key role in the decision to strip Prince Andrew of his titles and honors. At this moment, when King Charles III announced serious measures, the pressure from Kate and Queen Camilla became a decisive factor. Their motives are related to the desire to protect the reputation of the royal family and permanently close the ongoing scandals surrounding the younger brother of the monarch, related to serious accusations in the past and questionable connections that damage the prestige of the crown. This step was unexpected for many, but it cannot be called spontaneous. Charles III, influenced by his wife and the heir to the throne, sought to complete this chapter in order to prevent further pressure on the family and the state. Andrew's exile has exposed intra-family differences and raised the question of how far the members of the royal house are willing to go in order to preserve their image. The intrigue and tension do not subside because such decisions are not made without a lengthy discussion and assessment of the consequences. This is not just a purge among family members, it is a signal to the outside world about new standards within the court, where even the monarch's relatives are not protected if they change trust and violate unspoken rules. This story is striking in its drama, not only because the titans of the royal dynasty are affected, but also because of how actively women manage to influence decisions that seem to be the prerogative of kings and princes. Their role is a new chapter in the history of the British monarchy, where power is becoming more layered and unpredictable. After much debate and intense discussions, King Charles III officially stripped Prince Andrew of all formal titles and honors on October 30. This unprecedented step was also accompanied by the notification of the termination of the lease of the multi-year residence, the Royal Lodge, which was home to the younger brother of the monarch. This decision became a symbol of a final break with the past, which was full of serious accusations and scandals that damaged the reputation of the whole family. Now, Andrew will have to move to a lesser-known mansion on the grounds of the Royal Sandringham estate. Far from its former splendor and luxury, this place will become a new corner of energy for the prince in exile. Such a move is not just a change of address, but a clear sign of abandonment of the former status and influence. The reaction of the family, especially the daughters Beatrice and Eugenia, was particularly painful. Although they retained their titles, their departure from the UK highlights the severity of the consequences for the entire branch of the family. The emotional burden of these events affects not only personal history, but also the fate of the royal dynasty as a whole, creating a domino effect from which few expect an easy outcome.
The situation shows how difficult it is to cope with internal conflicts in a family that is constantly under the scrutiny of the whole world. Charles III has already begun preparing a plan for his own funeral, which, according to insiders, will exclude the opinion of his eldest son, Prince William. The monarch insists on the presence of his youngest heir, Prince Harry, as well as his wife, Camilla. This is not just a formality, but an obvious gesture of reconciliation and an attempt to restore long-strained relations within the family. This moment is especially important for the king because of his deteriorating health. For the first time in many years, the king is seeking peace with Harry, demonstrating that he appreciates the bond with his youngest son even during the most difficult period of his life. According to one version, Carl wants his farewell to be large-scale and solemn, similar to the funeral of his mother, Queen Elizabeth, which indicates his desire to preserve traditions and emphasize the importance of his role. At the same time, the palace is trying to hide the seriousness of the king's illness, but it is obvious that the situation is tense and everyone understands that the time for change is coming. In light of these events, William is already officially engaged in plans for the future monarchy, acting with or without his father's blessing, which adds drama and complexity to internal family relations and the struggle for power. The state of health of King Charles III is causing more and more concern behind the scenes, although officially the palace is trying to minimize the severity of his ailments. However, the very atmosphere in the palace reflects tension and uncertainty. It is at this moment that Prince William steps up his actions, preparing to take control of the future of the British monarchy. His steps are becoming less dependent on his father's approval, which indicates a growing split between generations within the royal family. William conducts his own negotiations and makes plans that can change the balance of power and the structure of power in the country. His aspirations are clear. He wants to establish himself as a new leader without postponing important issues for the future. This power struggle is taking place against the backdrop of increasing pressure from the public and the media, who are closely monitoring every move by the royals. Such internal intrigues and conflicts only intensify the drama at the center of the British monarchy, showing that legacy and control are not just a formality, but a field of fierce struggle where the stakes are unusually high. The image of the new king is gradually emerging, and the closer the moment of change approaches, the more tension grows within